Today, we are diving into one of the most incredible, most complex systems inside your own body, the organs of your immune system. And look, this isn't just about fighting off the sniffles. This is about a beautifully coordinated defense system that keeps you healthy. Let's get into how it all works together.
So, have you ever really stopped to wonder about this? I mean, how does your body actually pull off this constant, round-the-clock defense against millions of invisible threats? It's a fantastic question, and trust me, the answer is even more fascinating.
Because here's the thing, it's not some chaotic, messy battle. A much better way to think about it is as a symphony, a finely tuned biological orchestra where every single part has a critical role to play in creating the beautiful music of, well, your health.
And just like any great orchestra, our immune system has two main sections. First up, the primary organs. We're going to call these the music school. This is where our immune cells are born and get all their training. Then we have the secondary organs, or the concert halls. This is where those trained cells go to perform their life-saving duties. So let's start at the very beginning.
Okay, first up, let's visit the music school, the very place where our cellular musicians are created from scratch. Our journey begins deep inside your bones, in the bone marrow. You really can think of this as the ultimate musician's conservatory. It's the site of a process with a fancy name, hematopoiesis, but simply put, it's where all of your immune cells get their start, all generated from these incredibly powerful stem cells.
And the variety it produces is just, wow. You get lymphocytes, these are the specialist players. You get granulocytes, your orchestra's first responders, always first on the scene. Then there are monocytes, the versatile performers that can play a bunch of different parts. And it doesn't even stop there. The bone marrow also makes your red blood cells and platelets. The key thing to remember is this is the single origin point for the entire orchestra.
But you know, as any great musician will tell you, just being born with talent isn't enough. Some of these cells need highly specialized, super rigorous training before they're ready for the big stage.
And that brings us to the thymus. This is the immune system's elite training academy. It's this small but mighty organ, right behind your breastbone, and it's where a very special group of lymphocytes, the super important T cells, go to mature and, well, get educated. Now, the thymus runs a ridiculously strict audition process. First, these young, immature T cells arrive from the bone marrow. Then comes positive selection. The thymus basically asks, hey, can you recognize our own team's uniform? Only the ones that can are kept. But then comes negative selection. Okay, but do you attack our own team? If the answer is yes, they're immediately eliminated. It's a tough process, but it makes sure that only the most effective and, crucially, the safest T cells graduate.
All right, our musicians are trained. They've graduated from the academy with flying colors. Now, it's showtime. Let's visit the concert halls of the immune system where the real performance happens.
First up, the lymph nodes. You've probably felt these in your neck when you're feeling a bit under the weather. These are basically local surveillance hubs, strategically placed all over your body. Their main job is to filter this fluid called lymph, constantly checking it for signs of trouble, which we call antigens.
What's just incredible is how organized they are inside. You've got specific zones. The cortex is for B cells, the ones that produce antibodies. And the paracortex and medulla are where the T cells hang out, waiting for their cue. This structure is no accident. It's designed to facilitate the perfect meeting, the perfect introduction between an invader and the specific defender that can take it down.
Okay, next we head to the main stage, the spleen. If lymph nodes are the local community halls, the spleen is the grand concert hall for your entire bloodstream. It's a major organ and it is constantly filtering all of your blood, looking for any threats that have managed to get into general circulation. It's also the ultimate cleanup crew. I mean, the spleen pulls out pathogens from the blood, it removes old and damaged red blood cells, and it clears out all the junk left over after a fight. And just like the lymph nodes, it has its own organized B cell and T cell zones for a super fast, coordinated response.
But what about the parts of your body that are constantly exposed to the outside world? You know, like your gut and your respiratory system? Well, for that, we have MALT, which stands for mucosal-associated lymphoid tissue. Think of these as the orchestra's highly specialized border guards, stationed right at the body's main gates.
This whole system includes some familiar names, like your tonsils and your appendix, plus things called Peyer's patches in your intestine. What's so fascinating about MALT is its dual role. It has to fight off real pathogens while also learning to tolerate all the harmless things, like the food you eat. It's this incredibly delicate and absolutely essential balancing act. So, now that we've met all the players and we've toured all the venues, let's bring it all together for the grand finale and really see this perfect symphony in action.
So let's just do a quick recap of our main concert halls. You've got the lymph nodes, your local surveillance hubs, filtering all that lymph fluid. You've got the spleen, the grand filter for your entire blood supply. And finally, MALT, the dedicated border guards protecting your body's surfaces. Each one has a totally distinct and absolutely vital job in the orchestra.
And here's the crucial takeaway. From the very first note played in the bone marrow, to the intense training in the thymus, and the final performance in the lymph nodes, the spleen, and MALT, every single part of this system works in perfect harmony to protect you.
It is an absolutely masterful performance that runs 24/7 without you even having to think about it. Which, of course, leaves us with one final, very important question to ponder. What happens when just one of these musicians starts to play out of tune? Well, that's where things get really interesting.